Okay, here we are again trying to get a start on the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group for Tuesday, May 5th. And I think I've got it working. So we should be on live stream under the Rick Crammond insignia. Let's see if it actually is working. Yay. Okay. Okay, Mario, we've got your first picture up at least.
Okay, and I'm sending you hotmails with images one by one. I'm not sure if I skipped one and did one twice or not, but I'll send you these as I'm going along. Okay, all right. The beginning there. This neutron. This is, I believe, what Mr. Keshe is talking about is the fractal of the universe. Right. That means in fractal geometry, you just take this and add zeros, and you get an atom, you get a tree, you get a, you add more zeros, you get a solar system. It's always the same fractal, just multiplied over and over and over and over again, right? So the idea here is I'm going to approach this as an analyzation of the universe as a fractal, right? So this is what I believe. In the beginning, before there was any molecular structure or any atoms, there was an entire universe filled with nothing but neutrons. Unbelievable amounts of neutrons. The amount of neutrons that have actually divided and become atoms now is only a fraction of the total number of neutrons that actually exist in our universe. Follow? But as a fractal, that means our universe is a neutron in another universe filled with neutrons. Follow? And that universe is in turn a neutron filled with a universe filled with neutrons. And it goes on and up and then goes down. Every neutron in our universe is a universe filled with neutrons that are universes filled with neutrons. You see up in the right top corner there, got those spheres that Mr. Keshe is talking about, those rings. See how it works? Our universe in the center. That's the size of our atoms. The two on the right side, or right and left side of that, that's another universe where our universe is just one neutron in it. And that gets closed in. You got a marble inside a marble. You see the red one around that closed in. So you have this concentric circles of marbles, one inside the other, one inside the other. And they go from large all the way down to small, and then back up to large and meet again in an infinity loop. It's not really an infinity loop, it's a circuit. It's literally blood circulation is what it is. And what happens is, I believe that when a neutron divides, for atom, it creates another atom in each universe, directly linking it with a fiber that connects it like a single thread right through the universe, atom for atom, back around, and creates a circuit that's self-sustaining because of the gradient from the larger spheres to the smaller spheres. I'll explain that more later, but you follow that every atom begets another atom because it wants to make a circuit. And it creates life right through these universes all the way around until it comes back. And as it goes into each atom. It travels the waters of life is what it's called, is this electricity. It's literally electricity. It flows from the first neutron that divided. It flows, it goes to a next atom. It goes to the next neutron. That one divides and becomes an atom, which is physical part of the universe, right? And the flow is the water of life. And the actual matter is what the Bible calls the tree of life, because it's making a standing structure. Whenever you have a neutron divides, it creates an equal relationship in relative distance. That is, it's stationary. They line up in a static position, like all the atoms in your body are connected to each other in a relative equal distance from each other. You follow? So you get the waters of life traveling to make this circuit, going through and creating basically the riverbed of atoms as it goes. Follow? So you get the tree of life. It's a thread. It's a single fiber that connects the entire structure, atom to atom, around the infinity loops. As it's doing that, in each atom, it goes down into each atom, which is its own infinity loop, and starts branching out inside that. That would be, you have the branch is the one thread that goes through an infinity loop of universes in one direction. At the same time, every atom it goes to goes inside that atom. That would be the leaf on the branch. And it divides. It goes into two. And each side, you have now two universes. That becomes 4. And then those divide again, becomes 8. And it makes an entire infinity loop going around each of these atoms inside an atom, comes back out, comes back into our universe as a bazillion new threads that all create a new atom, which starts it all over again from the beginning with now a bazillion new threads. So you start with one division, and it immediately threads itself one atom at a time, connecting it to every other atom through a branch, leaves, branches, leaves, branches, through an infinity loop of circuits. That's basically the Fibonacci sequence, but I'll show you what it really is. Nicholas figured this out, and I'm not sure he realizes what it is that he's figured out. I've drawn it. He's plotting a straight trajectory, and I'll come back to that. But you follow what I'm saying? This is the tree of life and the waters of life, that this connection of these infinity loops going around the universe. And see how it works. I screwed up. In the circle there, I should have had the neutron on the right, and the electron should be a really tiny one, but I got carried away with drawing these stupid little, they're really hard to draw. But see, a neutron divides, and you got, imagine that red one in the circle there is tiny. It's a little electron. It's divided. Here's what I think happens. It divides, and the two neutrons now, they're two separate neutrons, one big one and one little one. Even the little one's got bazillions of neutrons in it. So when those two come together, the fibers start rubbing against each other. This is what Mr. Keshe talking about, creating friction, and it creates light and heat. That's what's happening in the atmosphere right above our heads there. That's the Coulomb barrier between the Earth and the sun. That happens. That is the let there be light in the universe. And it creates the division of the neutron. I think it just opens up, to be honest, but whatever, it divides. And then you have the Coulomb barrier where they come together and they create this spark of light, this energy, excuse me, that goes around and creates a membrane. It literally creates a force field that separates the three universes. So you look there, you got one marble on the outside. That's where it comes in direct contact with the Earth. That's our bottom skin of our universe. That's the bottom marble of our universe, a single hydrogen atom. But you look inside it, there are two marbles. So these each have their own membranes as well. So this water of life is going to create membranes separating each of the universes. So you see you've got two universes inside one marble. Now, how does this circuit get around up and out of our universe to the next universe? You look to the right. See what's happened is you've got now two hydrogen atoms. They created a Coulomb barrier. Each one now is a marble with two marbles in it. Now you've got two marbles that total of 4, but it's 2 plus 2, and it creates a single barrier. So you look from the top down, start with 1, divides into 2 hydrogen atoms. Inside those, there are 2. And inside those, that'll be 2. And then it becomes 4 and 8 and 16. You get sacred geometry, the way it divides. This is your body. When you were first conceived, you had 2 atoms that came together and started to divide. And when the waters came out of that first one, it went to the next atom. It went to the next neutron, and it said, it's a hydrogen atom, I need a carbon atom. And it converts the neutron to a carbon atom, and it creates and now you're another bubble up. You see, you've created another membrane. So we're looking at these 2 hydrogen atoms. We are now 2 membranes above the original skin. You follow? And it'll every time you add another atom, you get another Coulomb barrier, another membrane that lifts you up and up and up and up, one layer at a time, 1 nanolayer at a time. And in your body, you have how many trillions of atoms That's how far up your skin is from the original skin of the hydrogen atom. You follow? You have to think vertically, up and down. We do not look across the universe. We look up out of bubbles. The Earth, when this, our Coulomb barrier is at from our skin out. Everything that's in our skin is its own universes. We cannot go down there. The membranes prevent us from falling into our own atoms. We can go up until we get to the edge of the skin of the universe, and then the membranes prevent us from going through there so that we don't bleed out. Our universe is made of neutrons that are the same size. The next one's the next one. We can go up, but we can't go down. But you can look at a hydrogen atom and see the bottom of our universe. Follow? And it goes up like that. And here, the Coulomb barrier of your skin is directly connected. I've been saying we don't see the plasma. I do. I've been seeing it. You have literally physical entity coming out. In fact, when I drew it, it comes from all your skin, but most of it comes out of the top of your head. You're a neutron. You've got a pole, and they're connected. And when we start measuring plasma, and we start being able to see it, and you see what you look like, you're going to find that you have a physical connection between you and the upper atmosphere where that Coulomb barrier is transferring it up. So the atomic structure is expanding by Fibonacci sequence. So it starts at your skin. That's the last level up from you. The next one is the skin of the Earth. The next one, and it goes up through the solar system, the skin of the solar system. Then that goes out to the skin of the galaxy, and then it goes out to the skin of the universe, where those neutrons now, they actually double in size is what happens. And it continues up from there, and it goes nanolayer by nanolayer. And as it goes down, you notice if you have the hydrogen atom on the left, you look to the right. If that's gone inside each of these two atoms. So now look inside the proton on the left, look at the picture on the right. When it comes in, that's the skin of the universe of the proton. If that fibers, this living waters of life comes in, activates a hydrogen atom, then it activates another hydrogen atom, and it builds it up inside the atom. See, doubling up, comes back out, you start the whole thing again in both directions. Follow? That's the way the universe is. And there's something about this neutron. The most basic analysis of this neutron gives you the most startling results. I've tried to explain this, but I was never really able to do it. I'm going to send you some more pictures here. Okay. Imagine that you have imagine they take one fiber. Now, Mr. Keshe has described it as being little thin wires. Oliver Heaviside called it spongy. Okay, so now I'm going to assume an analysis that if I was able to get it to uncurl itself and stand up straight, that if I held it at the bottom, it would stand straight up. It would have structural integrity. It wouldn't just fall like a wet noodle, right? Because it is the atoms of your steel. It's the atoms that are making up the structure of your wall. It's got structural integrity, but it's flexible like a thin wire or a sponge. So imagine you're holding it at the bottom and you're with your right hand and it's standing straight up, and you push it at the top with your left finger. You'll find that it pushes back with equal and opposite reaction. The amount of energy that you push on it, it push back with equal and opposite reaction. If you pull it, you'll get the same thing, right? That's obvious. That's Newton's law of equal and opposite reaction. But if you think about it, the closer you are, if it's held at the bottom at the nucleus, which I know it is, then it can't move at all at the nucleus. The closer you are, you push on or pull on it towards the nucleus, the more energy it takes to push the fiber the same amount of distance at the top. You follow? And pulling it, the same thing. Or another way to put it, if you apply equal energy from the bottom, as you go farther, the fiber will move farther. Does that make sense? Am I on here, or are you hearing me? Hello? No, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, hang on a second. that that field, there's a spectrum of energy levels inherent in this fiber. In other words, it's gradual from zero. It's a different amount of energy spectrum as you go up to push or pull that fiber the same distance. Every one of these fibers is like a snowflake. It's different, slightly different. They're the same, but they're all different. What makes one like Richard Feynman calls likes like, what makes one different than another is either they're longer, I think that's what it really is. Some of them are longer than the others. At the end of the day, it's mass. Every one of these fibers has a different mass. Now, if you think about it, in a neutron, there's going to be a certain number of these fibers. It's finite, and they're all individual. So the total mass of any neutron is different than every other neutron. And the amount of energy it would take to push or pull those fibers is directly related to the mass. So you have this energy field spectrum that gives every single entity in the universe its own specific field strength. That's where we get our magnetic gravitational field strengths from. It's the fractal of this spectrum of energy and the difference in mass. Simple as that. Now, it makes sense? You follow me? Now, Richard Feynman calls it likes like. There is a principle in the universe of yin and yang, male and female, that is not necessarily inherent in these fibers, but it must be inherent in the fractal of the universe. And I'm 100% sure because I've drawn it out and I know this is the way it goes. Two fibers, you will never see one fiber alone. It's always a pair. There's always a mating. There's two fibers. And when two fibers join up, it's just like the Bible says, two become one. They join up at the ends and they share their energy in an infinity loop that's going back and forth. And this idea of equal balance, likes like, it's if one fiber meets up with another fiber that's 4 times its mass, it's not going to be able to equally exchange the energies. You follow? So you're going to have inherently two fibers that are more or less the same mass joining. Does that make sense? So you have this twinity in the idea that these fibers match, equal mass, and join and become a single structure. Now look to the right, that double helix. Imagine that spectrum. If they have equal energy along the entire length of the fiber, right? When they come together, they coil. These guys like the spiral. I've drawn pictures of it over and over again. They are spiraling, they coil. When they spiral around each other, if they're locked into the nucleus, the amount of energy required for them to loop around is the same throughout, which means they expand in the way that the Fibonacci sequence. See it? It's inherent in the fibers. It can't really do anything else. That's its structure. You follow? You have this double helix where it's expanding and in the Fibonacci sequence. Okay? Now, Mr. Keshe said this, and I can show you at least 2 or 3 very good reasons why they do this. They will loop around. That is, the top of those fibers will come back and connect to the bottom of those fibers at the nucleus. And you can't really see it very well in the nucleus here, but if you look down, I got a blow up of the nucleus. See, I've got 4 arrows. Imagine that the 2 fibers are the left arrows. You got a black one and a red one facing each other. See, what they're doing is they come together at the nucleus and they go around in opposite directions. So the red one goes around counterclockwise and comes back. The black one goes around clockwise, comes back. And when they come back in, they cross. And then they go back around again and cross back. This is the circulatory system. This is the fractal of the universe. This is the bloodstream. That's the 4 chambers of the heart. And that's the veins and the arteries. And this is what the ancients call the navigator's wheel. I think that's the right name. I'll come back to that. It's easy as pie. This is how you navigate the universe. I'll come back to this. This is a petal on the flower of life. And inside it, it's its own flower of life. And inside that, there's its own flower of life. It's an infinity loop. You see the infinity loop? Starts out small, gets bigger, comes back around, and gets smaller again, goes back around, gets bigger, gets back around, gets smaller again. There's two of twos of twos of twos of twos, making 2, 4, 8, and on and on and on. Follow? Now, this structure, it rotates. It does not, all the video guys have this orbiting like a Ferris wheel. I don't believe it does that. These are locked in at the nucleus. And if you look at it from right to left, you'd see it spinning, say, counterclockwise. You look at it left to right, you'd see it spinning clockwise. See, the whole structure just rotates in place. Now imagine, look in those, in between the empty space of the double helix. Those are cells. And if those fibers are spinning in place, imagine there's a network of them. They go around at least twice. This is just 2 fibers. There would be at least 4 of them, and they're rotating in place. That's the membranes. That's the plasma field. That's what's separating each of these universes. You follow? And this is the cellular structure of your body. That's the 4 chambers of the heart in the middle. It's the nucleus of every atom. It's the infinity loop of universes. It's all right here in this fractal. It's twice the size. It's 4 times the size. It's 8 times the size. It's 16. I'll show you what Nicholas, when I saw what Nicholas did, I went, that's how you draw it out. If you have the proper Fibonacci sequence, this is where I was stuck because I didn't know how to draw this with the proper expansion because I can't do math and, you know, it's not going to happen. But I know this, that at the top, those spheres are huge. They're very big. And at the bottom, they're really tiny. And if you just take your mind's eye and draw, even the image that's here, draw a little diameter around the outside of those peaks of the spiral, you see the lotus shape? This, in fact, it literally looks exactly like a lotus. All right? And that is the flower of the tree of life. And when I drew it out, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was following these concentric circles, and it's the most amazing thing ever. I'll come back to the navigator's wheel. This is the fractal of the universe. There should be another figure 8. There should be another circle below it, and where they loop around, it should go around counterclockwise, the opposite direction, and come back. You have a double wheel. That's how the navigator's wheel, it opens up. You get a cross-section view of basically a sliced in half version where you see the structural membranes of the cells. And now, before I go on with that, if those things are rotating in place, then look at the corkscrew action you're going to have. That's what Mike was talking about. He was so close, but this is the nature of your gravitational magnetic fields. If you get caught in one of these where you're spiraling in opposite direction, you get caught and that's going to pull you in. That is really going to, or the other way. And if you think about it, this is one petal from a neutron that's got how many bazillion petals. Even they all haven't opened, but bazillions of these petals have come out and they're radiating out in all directions. Some of these fibers go way out. It's like a bush where some of them are really way out, but there's not that many branches out there. As you get closer and closer, it gets more dense and more dense, right? And you imagine that, why are the gravitational effects so weak out there and the magnetic so strong and the other way around? It's because of the nature of the interaction. Oh, I forgot about something. This entire neutron is rotating on an axis. It's got a single direction. It's rotating on an axis. So when these fibers come out, depending on which way they want to tend to spiral as a unity, where they get caught when they're the weakest, they'll end up getting knocked over to the right or to the left. And the central axis of the singular rotation is going to basically line them all up in one way or the other. So you see to the right there how they come out, and then some of them, the farthest ones, some of them will come out around one way, some of them come out the other way. There's your polarity. That's why it's so important to know whether you're dealing with magnetic or gravitational, with the way your shields are going when you're flying in space. You don't want to slam into those going in the same direction or whatever, Rahalo. But remember the picture of the galaxy that I think NASA had, Rick, you had up a few weeks ago, See what those things are. Look at the galaxy across the horizon, across the middle. That's where those Coulomb barriers are actually touching. Inside this core, those Coulomb barriers are touching. Anytime you have Coulomb barriers touching, you have atoms. You follow? That's the atomic structure of a galaxy. And remember those pictures with the big looping, whatever it was on the top and the bottom? That's it. You're actually not seeing the plasma. I see the plasma. You guys see the reflections in the matter. Those are the Coulomb barriers just shining off the matter, and see that. But anyway, you follow? That's what you're looking at, this picture. See, to me, when I see that picture, just in your mind's eye, take that picture with those arrows and rotate that 90 degrees to the left. See the poles? See the poles are, that's the South and North Pole. NASA's got the picture sideways. They got the picture crooked. You should rotate that the proper way. If you're looking at plasma, you want to see the flow of the plasma. They've got the Arctic at the equator. See, they're not looking at the plasma. They're looking at the matter. They're seeing the matter is literally, I believe it's 0.000. I think there's 38 zeros, 1% of the mass of the galaxy. The other 99.9999999% is these fibers spiraling around this huge, gigantic circle of this flower. See the petals? See the petals? And if you look at it how it looks, you can see the lotus shape in it. But anyway, you follow? That's what's going on. Those magnetic gravitational fields are the direction of the corkscrew of this petal on the flower of life. Now, I don't know if you have the next picture. I'm going to show you what I did, that what Nicholas is not quite getting. And then there's another one. It should be a picture. Rick, you can show the next picture. Hello? 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 Uh-oh. Oh.
Sorry. It takes me a minute to get through. I've got 5 windows open. I have to get back and unlock my audio in 2 different places and find the pictures again. Yes. This is why we set things up beforehand, is a good idea. Anyways, here it comes. Here it comes. The flower of life we have.
Oh, that's the one, the flower of life. Okay, that's
by the way, have you seen the latest video called Plasma Division that the animators came up with? Okay.
Yes, it's not correct. Sorry to say this. It's not correct. I'll show you what's wrong with it. Is right here actually. Actually, the next page shows you next picture shows you the right way. It's not correct. It's close. It's not correct. Mr. Keshe, you asked Mr. Keshe about that video. He didn't answer you. I could see what's going on. There's no straight lines in this fractal. You're not supposed to plot it in a straight line. This next picture, you see this looks like an open jaw almost, and then the circles, right? The flower of life. Is that what you're looking at?
Number 2 you want, or number 3 now?
Well, I can't remember which one I put it. Is the flower of life number 2?
Yes.
Actually, all right, then number 3. Get number 3 up. I'll show you the way you're supposed to plot it. And I'm going to try to send you the next picture too.
Okay, so you've got
like a figure 2. Sorry.
Figure 8.
Yeah.
See, that's the navigator's wheel. You see how I drew the double helix around like I did? See what Nicholas, nobody's doing. Nicholas has taken this. These are the concentric circles that Nicholas wrote. Now, it should be, the first one should be 1 centimeter diameter. The second one, 2. The next one should be 4. The next one should be 8. That's how it should go. But if I do that, I can only get 3 circles. So I can't see the structure. So I cheated and I went arithmetically. I went 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. It's a fractal. I'll be able to get the structure even though it should be much expanded. But you see what I did? Nicholas has got it plotted up the axis, straight up and down. You're supposed to plot it around the navigator's wheel. See, I use the circle to plot where I go. I got a radius from 1 centimeter out from the nucleus, but on the wheel. Then the next one is 2 centimeters out on the wheel. Then the next one's 3 centimeters out on the wheel. I'm going around. I'm going from 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That's how it's supposed to be. Now you see what's happened? There's the flower of light. That's the other ones. This is what's happened here is you've taken this grapefruit, this fractal, and you divided it right in half. That's the figure 8. But it's opened up into 45-degree angles. Actually, when you go up the other side, it opens up in another 45-degree angles. It gives you 4-quadrant navigation. It gives you the layout of the structure of 4 quadrants. Look, you're in the cell of the Earth. That would be the 3rd one out, right? But the Earth's going around in its orbit. So where are you? So you could be on this side, left top, right top, or left bottom, right bottom. Follow? You've got a line of the axis of the axis. So you've got a compass. You know which direction you can face up and down. I believe that is north and south on this image, and you got the 4 quadrants there, and it lays out the structure of the universe right here by drawing the concentric circles. But there's something else about this. These concentric circles, when I started drawing them, I was like, wow, that's the flower of light that Nicholas drew. See it? And especially when you put the other ones, the figure 8 is not part of the structure. It's what you either use this without the circles to navigate. See, you go three loops up, you're at the Earth from this nucleus. 4, you're at Mars. See, that's how you navigate. But if you want to understand how the structure of the universe is, where all those membranes are and everything, then you draw these concentric circles out all the way around. And what happens is the strangest thing, the circles literally disappear and another picture shows up in the middle of the thing. It creates a picture within the picture of something that's got nothing to do with the circles at all. It's the strangest thing. Actually, I'm trying to send you the next picture here in the email. You follow? That's what's happening. And I started drawing these out, and I'll show you how it does. I go step by step, and you won't believe what it looks like. I knew this stuff was there, but I didn't know that it looked like this, really. Okay, go to the next picture, Rick, the flower of life, or the previous picture.
Okay. Okay, I'll be up in the live stream shortly with the leg.
Okay. Now, what I've done here is I've taken the navigator's wheel, see all the way over to the left. You see the figure 8 there in the black circle, and I've drawn 7 circles with the Fibonacci sequence. It's not even right because the first circle I can't make small enough because my compass. So I've got 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 4 centimeters. And 8 is like huge. But see, I drew a membrane around it. Already you see the structure of the lotus, double leaf of the lotus. All right? But you see now something else. When you divide this in half, what you've done is you've taken the melon, you split it in half, it's open. Now this is vertically. And what I want you to notice is, see how on the top circle, this is the same circle, the top circle and the bottom circle there, the big one. It's the same one cut in half. But you notice the artery is on the top. And you look in the bottom, the vein is on the top going, or on the bottom there. Now, when you close that up, you see what you got? You got this double helix that's looped around itself and created a vein and artery system in pairs all the way around the structure. You see it? And this, when you draw the concentric circles, you get this 4-quadrant view of the inside of the structure of the chambers. It's the plasma. The little dots where the circle touches the other circle, that's matter. That's matter. That's what we see when we look at the universe. The rest of it is the other 99.999% of the mass that guys don't see. I've been seeing it for almost a year now. I've been seeing this plasma. I've been trying to show you what it looks like, but Now, wait till you see these pictures that are drawn out. But when you draw these concentric circles, you get this other view. Look to the right, that center line. I've done it like, in a way, the way Nicholas has done, in a straight line up. Because this schematic view, this exploded version of this navigator's wheel that shows you the membrane structure of the plasma of the universe, it opens up into 4 quadrants where you see inside. But look at what this is. It does the same thing at the same time. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. What it's done is you've taken the nucleus and opened it up. See, the nucleus is down at the bottom and the nucleus is up at the top. You see how they would cross there? And you've got it split in half and opened up, unrolled. And you got it laid flat. See that? That shows you the outside structure from outside in. And the other one gives you the inside out. And this manifests itself by drawing these circles into this picture that's got nothing to do with the circles. It draws these structural membranes of the universe the way it actually is. And if you're like me, I don't really know which direction the heart goes. Dr. Elliot would. She'd be a good navigator. Me, I'd slam us into a mag field or something. But now look to the right. See that? This is how the universe expands. See, when you plot these circles the way it is straight up, you're going to get concentric circles. If you expanded them, this is not concentric, this is one after another. But if you do it straight up, you don't get the Fibonacci sequence because you're going 1, 2, 4, 8. But when you plot it on a circular trajectory, the way it is over in the navigator's wheel, if you were to take a straight ruler and point the radius, the axis of one of these circles to the nucleus, you get the Fibonacci sequence. See what happens? It's really each cell doubling in size. But when the Fibonacci sequence is the hard way to do it. If you plot the circles around the wheel, the navigator's wheel, when you plot a direct line, you would get that 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. But if you just draw the circles 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, you get the same thing. That's what Nicholas was doing. That's what opened up. I went, oh. Now keep that in mind. Each circle of the next universe, when it gets bigger, and I said it gets bigger by the Fibonacci sequence, not so. It really just doubles. Now look at the bottom, the one on the right. I've got 2 circles on the bottom. Imagine there's only 1 circle to start with, right? That's the size of the neutrons of the atoms in one universe. There'll be a whole universe full of these atoms, this size. Now when it goes up to the Coulomb barrier of our universe, it goes to the next universe, it needs neutrons that are twice its size. So what does it do? It makes a figure 8, loops around itself, and then makes a Coulomb barrier. That's exactly how an atom divides. Coulomb barrier creates a membrane around each one. The atom divides, creates a new universe, bigger. It's nanolayer by nanolayer. Now, every universe, in that universe rather, every neutron is twice the size. It's 2 neutrons bound together. Follow? So you got one neutron, 1 centimeter size neutron in our universe. Next universe up is 2 centimeters diameter, but it's really a pair of pairs of pairs. And if you go to the next one, it's going to be 4 centimeters. What's that? That would be a pair of, you see how it goes? And then when it keeps going around, it goes to the other side of the Ferris wheel, you want to call it. It doesn't rotate like that, but the next one needs to be half the size, so it makes neutrons half the size. Then it goes to half the size of that and comes back. That's the structure of the universe. What it means is that on where our universe is, on the opposite side, if we're at 9 o'clock on the wheel, at 3 o'clock on the wheel, there's another universe that has the exact same size atoms as we do. But it's not a parallel universe. It's another universe that's the same size. There's not another you in there. There's not another exact copy of ours. It's just another universe that has the same size atoms. Follow? And that's the structure of our universe. That's how it goes. It starts with 1 pair. This is 2 fibers that have made 1 and become an entire infinity loop looping around, branching into each one, doing the same thing in there. One pair of fibers is spread out to our whole universe. Our universe is Adam and Eve, one pair of fibers, creating life with the atom structure and memory in the nucleus. This I have to come back to. Memory is life. But you see, the waters of life is this electricity. It's plasma. And the flower, the tree of life is literally the structure. And I promise, you guys don't see it. You think it's something, I don't know. You don't see it. But I promise you, it's got physical dimension. It's got size. And it's very real structure. I have a book here that I had 30 years ago. I still have it. I have it on my bookshelf right now, written by Rudolf Steiner. It's called A Knowledge of Higher Worlds. Now, I read this book 30 years ago. He talks about spheres of spheres of spheres of universes. And the whole precept of the book is that humanity is not aware of the existence of these other universes. And because you don't have a knowledge of their existence, then you're not accessing it. You don't see it. And in order to be able to access these other worlds, you have to have a knowledge of their existence, a knowledge of higher worlds. I didn't know this until a year ago when Eric Dollard mentioned that Rudolf Steiner was one of the leading guys, a contemporary of Tesla and all of Heaviside, in studying plasma. Maybe that's why I see it and you guys are not seeing it. I don't know. Something about my background. The universe is plasma, not the matter. Okay. Now, I think you have another picture, Rick, of the next picture. Do you have it? I don't know if you got it. Next picture, I plotted our solar system with the Fibonacci sequence, with the expansion. I'm going to try to keep sending you more images because I got 13 images here that you really need to see. Yeah, Rick, are you with me? Oh,
I've got the third image up, if that's the one you mean. I don't know which others you I haven't looked at my email.
The third one is the concentric cycles around the one we already discussed, right?
Right. Okay. I see there's a couple of more emails here.
I'm sending another email with the fourth picture. And as soon as that loads here. I plotted the first 5 planets, although couldn't get Saturn. I had to cut Saturn's orbit. I'll show you what I see when I look at the solar system that I don't think you're seeing. Oh, all right. All right. I'm sending you now. That navigator's wheel, when I started fleshing it out, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, even though I knew it was there. But yeah, sorry about taking all this time here. But did you get a new email there with the JPG?
I've got picture number 4, JPEG, right, up on the screen now. It's got Saturn, Mars, Earth, Venus, Mercury, Mercury, Venus.
That's the one. Okay. This is the way the Fibonacci sequence really, the doubling. There's the nucleus. See, look down at the navigator's wheel on the bottom. See how far I could get? This big black curve down the middle, and then it goes down the side. That's as far as I got. And it should be much more shallow, that curve. And Saturn should be way off the page. That little dot up there is Saturn. When you look at the dot, you see Saturn. You see the rings and all of the moons and everything. That's the little black dot. That's the little black dot. All of the rest of that, see, Saturn goes all the way from its nucleus in one leaf, goes all the way down to the nucleus and goes back around. The artery goes out, the vein goes in, it connects out to Jupiter, connects out. That's a marble inside a marble inside a marble inside a marble. You follow? That's Saturn. That whole leaf is actually a pair of fibers a vein and artery on each side, and the whole structure is rotating. That is one screw on the Fibonacci sequence. Follow? That's the fibers that are over our head. Saturn's got this flower. It's a bush of all of these fibers. It's radiating it out. Wait till you see the actual way I drew it out. When you actually see the way those fibers look, it's stunning. You're not seeing 99.999% of mass of Saturn. Now, it's got a single membrane that connects it right down to the nucleus and out, and that leaf extends out the top of Saturn, and that connects to Jupiter. So you see how big it is. Saturn is way bigger than we see. We don't notice it. And that's what it looks like. Now, inside Saturn, there's a direct artery connecting the nucleus, goes right out to the skin of the nucleus. But inside Saturn, it goes in, opens up enough neutrons to create Mars. And now Mars does the same thing. It becomes a flower. And see the fibers connecting from Mars right down to the nucleus. And see how big that one leaf is? That's how big the leaf should be on the other side where Saturn should be. Follow? And that's its structure. It's inside Saturn. And inside Saturn is the Earth. And it's got its leaf connecting it. And inside it, it's got Venus. And inside it, it's got Mercury. And inside Mercury is the nucleus of our solar system. We think that there's a sun radiating at the center of our solar system. Not true. The nucleus of our solar system is inside Mercury. But it's like a grapefruit. Slice a grapefruit in half. What's the nucleus of the grapefruit? It's that little white nodule in the center. And when you start really looking at it and you realize, well, that nodule has got connections. You look at this structure. You see the little leaf and the 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 leaf. You look at a grapefruit now, you will start seeing that structure. The nucleus is the center. Every single vein, every single artery in the whole structure leads directly from the nucleus out to the skin. The grapefruit is the nucleus out to the skin. That's its body. That's its organs. You take your heart with you when you go to lunch, but you don't take your heart out to lunch. You follow? You live outside of your skin. Inside of your skin is the other universe. The Earth, our solar system does not live inside itself. It wakes up in the morning and says hello to the other solar systems. It's the nucleus inside Mercury. There's no sun. NASA's been faking those pictures. What you see is the sun is literally in the sky. Mr. Keshe said this. Eric Dollard said this. You don't see, when you go out beyond our atmosphere, you can see the Coulomb area at the Earth. But when you look towards the sun, nothing there. It's dark. I mean, there's something there. We say we don't know how to measure plasma. All of those images that they show of the sun is actually the plasma, and they're measuring it. But then they don't know what to make of the fact that you can't see the sun, so they use computer images to make it look like what they think it's supposed to look like. The activity is very real, and those huge fibers are all leading in and out of there. Absolutely. They've seen pictures of these spiraling double helixes connecting the Earth to the sun, going into our poles. Bundles of bundles of bundles of double helixes. They've seen it. Okay? The nucleus is inside Mercury. It has to be. It's in the center. You follow? It's got to be a new marble. It's the marble inside. That's what our solar system looks like. I don't think you guys see that. Follow? And here's the other thing.
Wait a minute here. Let me just get my Skype up. Just a second here. And got too much happening. Just a second while I get my Skype. There we go. Okay. So you're saying there is no sun, and that all the radiations come from Mercury? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that our solar system is a marble inside of a marble inside of a marble. The nucleus creates these blood vessels that connect every marble to itself and to every other marble in this structure. A leaf inside a leaf, inside a leaf, inside a leaf, inside a leaf. And there's not just one leaf from each planet. I'm saying the planets radiate out their leaves and connect those leaves directly to the nucleus, which radiates the whole thing out to the skin. Follow?
No, I don't. I'm lost with where the sun meets the earth here, as Mr. Keshe has described many times. You're saying it's Mercury that meets the earth, not the sun? Or,
no.
First of all, I don't understand your whole picture here. Where is Jupiter in this scheme? It's missing.
Well,
it usually goes Earth, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Okay, I'm calling
Pluto.
it Saturn. Okay, I got my planets mixed up.
Wait a minute. You got your planets mixed up. Now you're trying to
so
tell us this is the way it is in the universe, but you don't even have the planets named correctly here, Mario. So it's very confusing to me to suddenly invoke this is the way it is, and that there's two Mercuries in your picture. That's confusing to me. And now you're talking about these cycles where this is the way it is, but yet we don't even see the cycle of the largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter here. And so I'm confused on what is the leaf within a leaf that you talk about, when these are all spiraling trajectories. And yes, if you play it out over millions of years, you will see all these intricate patterns and so on. For right now, in the moment, I'm not seeing how Mercury is at the center of the universe, basically, here.
Okay. All right. Let's start from the top down. Okay, I call it Saturn. It's Jupiter. That top dot on the top left corner, that's Jupiter.
Okay.
That's a marble. That's a marble. Inside that marble is Mars. And inside
the marble is Mars. Now you lost me again. I can see it as a marble. I don't see Mars within it. I see Mars in a separate trajectory, a separate item that might be included in that field somehow, or in that spiral.
You see the green and red fibers coming out of Jupiter on the top. That's creating. There's a bazillion of those radiating out in a bush, in a flower. All right, all directions. That's the radius of Jupiter, is from Jupiter to the nucleus, to where you think of the sun. That's the radius of Jupiter. You follow? It's one big marble. And then inside it is another marble, like I was saying, one marble inside another marble inside another marble. So you start from the inside out. You got the nucleus. That's a marble. Inside the nucleus, you have Mercury. That's another marble with the nucleus inside Mercury. Mercury is a marble inside Venus. Venus is a marble inside the Earth. The Earth is a marble inside Mars. Mars is a marble inside Jupiter. Jupiter is not the biggest planet in our solar system. It's inside Saturn. Pluto is way out there. I don't remember which planet it is. When they look at the matter, they can't decide whether it's a planetoid or a planet. It's a marble that Jupiter and Saturn and all of us are inside, because you're going out marble after marble after marble after marble until you get to the outside of the solar system. That matter is the little dot. The mass of Saturn, the mass of Jupiter is the plasma. And it's a marble inside a marble inside a marble. The nucleus is in the center, and it's connected to its skin at the outside via these blood vessels that are the marbles out. So if you go the other way, that's Jupiter at the top. That's the radius of the marble. Remember, it's split in half and you've got it opened up. And that's the bottom half. Look at the navigator's wheel. This is for how you navigate. You want to know what quadrant you're in. You're in the Earth. You're the third one out. But where is the Earth in its rotation around the nucleus? Could be to the left side, to the right side, or the bottom, the 4 quadrants. So you can plot a trajectory. You want to leave the solar system of the Earth, you can go up away from the nucleus, or you can go down in the opposite direction, and you'll end up going out. You can go down inside the Earth into Venus. You can go inside Venus into Mercury. You can go past the nucleus, or maybe through the nucleus, back out past Mercury, back out past Venus, back out past the Earth, and then you continue on out. If you want to go in that direction, depends on which way you want to vector your trajectory and where the Earth is in its orbit. Gives you four ways of going. That's why I've got Mercury and then Mercury on the other side, Venus. I'm following the navigator wheel. Jupiter should be way off the map. If I follow this, that's 1 centimeter. From the nucleus at the center, over there to the right, that's little dot next to it, that's Mercury. That's its radius. The red and the blue lines around the top of it shaped like a leaf. That's the radius. There's actually a bazillion leaves around here all rotating around, creating a single membrane structure of a cell. That's nucleus is Mercury. But it's a part of the nucleus of the entire solar system. So it's like the liver or some organ in your body. It's got its own cell, its own skin, but it's part of the structure of the solar system. It's a marble inside Venus. See, Venus is twice the size leaves. It's twice the size radius. And to the left of that, that's the Coulomb barrier of that. That's the Earth. That's got twice the size leaves. It's a bush where that's the radius of it, connected it from the Earth to the nucleus. And then it's inside Mars. It's a marble inside a marble inside a marble. And this navigator's wheel gives you a 4-quadrant way of mapping it. You follow? Well, anyway.
Not exactly, but I could kind of see if you had the sequence similar to your picture number 3 with the multiple lines and so on, that you could have a way of navigating in terms of knowing if you were directly behind the path of the sun, you could see the paths of the different planets and perhaps map them on a double figure 8 kind of scale, similar to that. Yes.
Okay. Can you get the next picture up? Okay. Next picture again.
Oh, this is not, it's very awkward for me because every time I go into my email, it comes up on the, it comes up on the viewer for the live stream, and I don't like to have that happen, so I have to open each picture in a special way and try to get it set up without showing my email, and that's a lot of arranging, I'll tell you. And like I said before, it's much easier to know beforehand what is going on. So I'm just trying to get that set up here. Just hang in. Okay, that's the previous picture. Okay, now we have this one. I think I've got 1, 2, 3 pictures. 2 of them. Some of these are looking the same. I guess they're duplicates, so far as I know. The last 3 have all been the same picture, I think.
There should be one where I've got the figure 8 where I've gone up both sides, the top and left. There's 2 circles horizontal.
I think it's this one. Just open with preview. Should do it. Okay, I've got that up on the live stream now. I believe it's the one. It's figure 5.
Should be right. You have that navigator's wheel, and I've got concentric circles that I've drawn going up both sides now. Is that what you got? Right.
Those aren't concentric circles. Concentric would have the same center. These are, what would you call it? the centers are from where exactly? I'm not sure because they're at
Well,
varying radiuses
I'm not
here.
sure what picture you're showing. I guess I'm gonna.
Well, it should
Let me
be
get the live.
You should know that it's figure number 5. Let me see if they're
Yeah,
all.
but I'm seeing
There you
these
go.
emails, and I'm not
Just
sure if I got it in the right order.
See if this
You should
is
have
the
two
same.
circles
Is that the
side
one
by
now?
side, and a navigator's wheel in the middle with the double helix. Is that what you got? I'm going to go on the live stream here and see.
Yes, check the live stream or check your mail.
It should be the navigator's wheel where I do the double helix along
Okay, number 6.
6 chambers on the left, or 7 or 8 chambers on the left, and 7 or 8 chambers on the right. Is that right? Man, my internet is going really slow here. I can't get the live stream up.
It shows the figure 8 and then multiple what you call concentric circles, which aren't concentric, but they're circles, multiple circles on the left and right in reflection to each other, essentially.
Okay, I can't.
It shows as figure 5. I think all the figure. Let me see if the.
Okay, there should be 2 circles. See, what I'm doing is I'm drawing in the circles. I went up the left side like I did before, but instead of going down the right side of the number figure 8, I'm just going around the top, back around. I drew circles 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then I went 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Is that what you're seeing?
And 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Man, I can't get
6. I'm not sure about the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock thing.
The image has been on live stream for a while.
The image.
I'm just plotting concentric circles around the.
Wait a minute.
navigator.
Concentric circles all have the same center. Okay, center point. So what do you mean plotting concentric circles? I don't see any circles that have the same center point here. So
I can't
clarify what you mean by plotting.
All right, the picture has a figure 8 in the middle, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Vertical
on the
figure
top,
8.
Yeah, you got the figure 8. On the top circle of the figure 8, I've plotted concentric circles around the circular trajectory of the way I did before, up the left side of the circle on the top circle. And then I did the same thing around the right side.
Right, and those, but they're not concentric circles. They're some other kind of circles.
Tangents.
Why do you say that?
Because concentric circles all have the same center point. They all are concentric, means of same center. These have different center points according to.
Well, the center point is the nucleus,
Robert
and I'm
said
plotting. Look at the
Yes,
top
exactly.
circle. You see the dot right at the. You see the top circle, and then you look down to the next circle in. That's the nucleus of where I plotted that trajectory. I went around. I went 1 centimeter. I put the point of the compass on 1 centimeter away from the nucleus, but on the line of the circle. And
Right.
Circle. Then
So,
I went 2
yes.
centimeters out.
Right.
Do another circle.
Those are not
Then I went 3
concentric
centimeters
circles.
out.
That would be
You follow?
like
But I'm going around the navigator's wheel.
as someone has mentioned in the chat, those are tangent circles. That wouldn't be.
Those are expanding
concentric.
circles. They're not expanding because they should be 2, 4, 8, 16, but I can't get the structure, so I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 centimeters like that. You follow? I just wanted to see.
Follow. There's something strange in the measurements because the 1, 2, and then 3, and then jumps to more like 5 or something, and then less. They're not exactly
Those are
drawn.
the
Let's say
tones.
so.
Yeah, it always has different sized marbles. It's. I thought it was me making mistakes. I'll come back to that. Those are the tones, half steps and whole steps. It's inherent in this. I tried to make adjustments to get rid of it. I thought it was me making mistakes in the measurements, and I was trying to adjust it. I sort of adjusted it out in this one. It's actually there. Those are always come up. I've got ratios of them. It has to do with the Greek modes. I'll come back to that. They are literally 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, even though that 3 centimeters looks smaller. It always does that every time. But anyway, get the next picture up, Rick, and I'll show you. I did the same thing.
Okay.
I didn't draw the double helix, but I did the same thing, plotting it around the top circle. I went part of the way up the left side, part of the way up the right side, and then I took the bottom circle, part of the way down the right side, part of the down the way the right side or the left side. Same thing. You start to see the structure being built up here within this structure of the circles.
Definitely see the flower of life configurations coming in there.
Yeah. Wait, you see how it fills out. But you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to show you step by step, like what it looks like when I fill it out, right? Jeez, I can't remember whether I gave this one already.
Okay, there's one more that just came in.
I'm continually sending you these emails. There's 13 of them. And I'm not sure if I skipped one or added another one or whatever, but I want you to see the procedure I'm doing. I'm just taking this navigator's wheel and drawing circles with the radius, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, but I'm plotting it on the circle instead of a straight line trajectory. You follow?
Sure.
Okay. So you see this structure of the 4 chambers, the 4 quadrants rather. But you look horizontally, you see each chamber and the structural membranes. You see the crescent moons. Those are that first circle to the left from the nucleus. That's Mercury, the point, little dot where the crescent moons touch. That's the planet Mercury, and that's the structure of the membranes of the leaf that's connecting it. To the other side of that, that's Mercury because we divided it in half. You follow? And so you would close this whole thing up into a sphere, and to see the lotus leaf to the horizontally, and that gets folded up, and that's a chamber. And you see the lotus leaf vertically, that's a chamber inside the chamber. And you see the structure is being built up of the membranes of the outer part in the vertical and in the inner part on the horizontal. And it's building up a structure of the membranes of the universe. All right, the circles end up disappearing. At the end of the day, you don't see the circles. If you look directly into these leaves, you don't really see circles. You see chambers. You follow? When you look up vertically, just ignore the circles. You see the structure? It starts to build up a picture within the picture. You get the circles. It's just a trick to be able to actually manifest the whole structure. Now, you follow? Now, man, this is taking forever. Uploaded one. I keep sending you these images. If you get the next picture up, Rick. The next picture should have 2 figure 8s. I decided to just see what it looks like if I put 2 leaves. I did the same thing. I have a figure 8 vertically, and I do another figure 8 horizontally, all with the radius, the nucleus, right at the nucleus. And then I went part of the way up the left side, drawing circles, part of the way up the right side, drawing circles on each one of the 4 circles.
I think that was the picture we've had up for a while here now on live stream. The last 3 pictures are all the same picture.
What?
They're all seem to be the same. Maybe I'm misreading something.
One below that.
They're all, let me just make sure this also says picture 6. Yeah, they're all no, they're all number 6, diagram 6 or number 6 in
There's
Chinese or
number
whatever.
6. Yeah. There's number 6. Yeah, I had to have it scanned at the print shop. Number 6, is that got four circles, 4 figure eights, or 2 figure eights, one horizontally and one vertically, right? Is that what you have?
One vertical, one at 45 degrees, another at another way, 45 degrees. So there's actually 6 that I see.
Oh, okay. All right. No. Go to the next picture.
There is no next picture. There is. Oh, something just came in. Let's see. Oh, it just went into my whole thing here. No, there's no subject and no attachment with it.
Oh yeah, that one it made an error here. All right, I'm gonna send you the next picture here. Sorry about this, guys. See, what's happening is it starts to build up a structure within a structure with these. Shoot, this is taking forever.
Yeah, they're large. They're very large pictures, and they don't really need to be at 3 megabytes to get the detail out of them because they're not all that detailed to start with. So, if you were to have it at half or a third or quarter of that resolution, should be fine. Less than 1 meg is generally recommended.
Yeah. Maybe I should have made them PDFs.
Yeah, PDF, and send me it together as one package PDF, and then number it so that.
Yeah, with the pages and everything.
And I can open it in several different applications that way, and it's easy to show on the live stream.
Oh man, I'm not connected. Man, I don't know what. The next pictures are really the most revealing thing, and I'm stuck here. Can't send you the picture.
Oh, it always happens that way.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to try to close.
And stay tuned for our next week's show. And Batman will extradite himself from underneath the, lip of the mountain, lip of the cliff.
The Bat Cave.
Man. Yeah, the next picture starts to show you the actual structure. Ah, crap.
And now we will reveal the secrets of the universe. The secret is... And now you know the secret of the universe.
Okay, let me try again here.
We're just creating the entire new universe with the flower of life as the basis. And
can't get my Hotmail to work. Can't get my Gmail to work.
The Hotmail didn't work.
Sorry, universe. We'll have to temporarily delay the creation of the universe while we refocus our attention on our software and hardware issues.
Yeah.
No, destruction and planet Earth.
And I can't even real.
10,000 entities passed away in the last moment of indecision. It's okay. It's okay. And they're only humans.
The next picture starts really showing you what's going on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Building up momentum.
Yes, Lord. We've heard that before.
Jeez, it's so frustrating. Can't believe it.
Well,
I can't get my...
how about we just all double our vision on the last picture and double it. That should get us to approximately the next universe. Just go cross-eyed. Just look at it cross-eyed and close up. That seems to pretty much do it. I see the 2 neutrons now.
Ridiculous. I can't even open up my Hotmail. Oh, and my Gmail's not working. This is so frustrating.
Well,
want to try to put an image on Skype, maybe?
Sure. If you send it to me personally on Skype, that would be the best way to do it.
Okay.
And then it won't...
Instant message?
Unless you want to send it to everybody in the Skype call, which is not a bad idea too, so they can see it even if they're not on live stream. It depends. If it's less than a meg, it'll go up easy. If it's 3 or 4 meg, it'll take a while to get through. It still will
So,
eventually.
well, let me just try to send the file then.
Sure. There it is, trying.
Yeah.
And it's 1.8 meg. Yeah, once it kicks in, it won't take too long. Seems to take a bit of time to initialize here. So.
And this Hotmail is just not. Sheesh. How can I have 2 emails that I can't send an email?
Well,
really frustrating.
It's a strange world that way. Sometimes you get.
Is that picture coming through at all?
Yeah, it's
17 megabytes. Is that too high?
No, 1.8 megabytes, and it's coming through. It's almost a quarter done now.
Okay. I'm going to try to get my Hotmail back on. Because it's the last pictures.
Okay, Lucien. I think Lucien's cutting out there now. So take care, Lucien.
Okay, I think I got my Hotmail, so I'm going to send you the next one.
Yeah, that might lock up your system a bit. It's trying to send out to all the people in this chat right now, and it's still grinding away. It's not even up to a quarter yet. Kind of stalled out a bit here with me, actually.
Yeah, all right, the same thing with my Hotmail. It's just stuck there.
Okay, well, we can either come back to it in a couple of minutes. Just let it, give it time to come through. And in the meantime, maybe somebody has some questions or something else they would like to discuss in this matter. Because we need to see what else is going on out in the world. Hello, anybody else out there that has anything they want to talk about in the Skype call here?
Okay, I'm going to send you an email with the next picture, not the one that's coming up on Skype. The next picture, I'll send you an email. It should have just gone out.
Okay.
You could put that one if you know, but let the Skype do its thing. Oops.
Hello to everybody. Sorry I joined very late because I went to bed very early at 2:30 a.m. I just finished urgent project to be submitted now. Going to submitting the tender. I just received all the pictures. So Mario, what will be these pictures about?
The flower of life.
Wow, it's an interesting subject.
Yeah. I'm doing what Nicholas did, plotting concentric circles around a curved trajectory of a figure 8.
Yeah, it's a beautiful geometry. And what does it mean to what is meant to represent? What's the signification of the circle? Do they represent such a force fields or?
Yes, those are in the next pictures. As I'm systematically, I wanted to show you what I'm doing. I'm adding circles after circles, plotting them, and I keep adding circles, and I'm getting these structures. And the next pictures, which I got stuck here, couldn't get them uploaded, but here I'm sending you another one, Rick, too. These next pictures show you the actual structure of the flower of life. I don't know, did you get that first one up yet in Skype?
I received a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces.
There's 13 altogether, but I've only sent, I think, 8 now to Rick.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've seen that JPG file on the Skype yet.
Which one on the Skype? The number 7?
Well, the one I just sent, though, I just sent one on Skype.
Yeah, you see the number says 7 on it.
Yes.
I see it's titled
No,
in
it's
Chinese.
stalled out or it's not going anywhere. It's less than a quarter.
Okay.
So.
All right.
There's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 7.
Yeah. Oops. No. Crap. I just sent you the wrong thing. All right. They were up on the
Which one?
I'm going to send you the one.
That was behind there.
Number 7. Did you get number 7?
This one.
Yeah, with many circles. And four circles touching in the middle bigger.
That's the one.
I've got it in, no, that's 8 actually. Sorry.
Well, the 8 is the one I just sent you in an email. I'm going to send you number 9 now. That's going to take a minute. Look at number 7. Look what I've done. I decided to put 2 leaves together. See, I took the one figure 8 and I plotted the trajectories along the left side, the right side, and then the left side and the right side of the bottom one.
I don't have a number 7. Sorry, I don't know where it is yet. Is it? That's the one that's still trying to download.
Yeah, that's the one on the Skype.
Right, so I can't see it. I can't show it on the... pardon me?
Yeah. All right, then I'll send you an email of that one. I'll send you an email of that one. I'm sending you the number 9 now.
I've got 8. I've got 9.
You got 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we're getting close here to done. I'll send you 7. As soon as this finishes loading. Okay, there's that. That's sent. Okay. Now I'm going to send you number 7.
Meanwhile, Robert Avetisian from California wants to join.
Who?
Robert Avetisian.
Is that
He's
someone I know?
in the other group. He's in the other group.
Okay, yeah. How can I can't make him. I can't connect with him. He hasn't connected with me so far as I know.
Oh, you have to add him to the contacts first.
Yes. But maybe you can add him. I don't know. You apparently added him.
I tried, but didn't succeed.
Is there a way to cancel that upload of that JPG figure?
Yeah, I just canceled it.
Okay, good. I'm sending it now, the number 7.
Meanwhile, I send in the chat Robert's contact, so you can add it from there, from the last link which I sent.
Okay, sending him an invite.
And just let me know when you get that picture 7 up. You should have already gotten that email.
Okay, which one's this? Number 9
and then I sent you 7 again after I got 9. And now this is 10.
Okay, 7. Got 7 up on the live stream.
Okay, now you see what I did. I did the same exact thing as I did before. In fact, I stopped. This is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plotted circles. I went 6 along the bottom of each one in both directions, each circle. So I got 4 circles there, right? I went up the left side, 6 concentric circles, up the right side. Next circle, 6 up that one, 6 up the other one, 6 up the other one, 6 down the other one, 6 up the other one, 6 down the other one. Follow? and look at the structure that starts to emerge. Now, this is, you see the lotus, see the crescent moons, see the Rosicrucian thing in the middle? That black dot is really from the pencil. Shouldn't really be there. It should be red, and you should see the fibers going through there. But I see every single religious icon, everything I see there. You see the crescent moons everywhere, all aiming in? And I see the Da Vinci man there. Look at the heart right in the center. Look up above there. That's your head. And see those fibers coming out of the top of your head? That's connected not to the moon, but to the earth, then to the moon, then to the sun, and that keeps going. It's showing you the concentric circles of the way the fibers are connecting out of your poles. Out of your body is all these fibers coming out, connecting you to the rest of the universe. The figure eights are not part of the structure. It's what you use to plot the circles, but you get this structure within a structure. I think that we look like a fractal, that we look like this, and that could be Buddha sitting inside the lotus. You see the lotus everywhere? I think, and everywhere that a fiber touches with another fiber, it creates an atomic structure. I think that our skin is a subset of fibers inside this web. This is only 2 leaves, only realized a third of the way around, okay? And inside it, I think our skin, I think that's a Da Vinci man. See the arms going out, the body going down? All right, I think that that's us. I think Buddha is a picture of, it's a self-portrait. People are instinctively seeing the plasma, but not realizing. Okay, but anyway, this structure, see what I'm doing? And it's starting to build up a structure within a structure. Okay, now you can look at the next picture. Rick?
Okay, number 8.
Right. Should be the same thing. Now, I've expanded it by cheating. I went, because the Fibonacci sequence, it should be bigger by doubling. But you can't do that.
Number 8.
So I tried to stretch it out a little bit anyway. I'm not sure if I've sent the same ones or not. Let me know when that picture comes up.
Well, it's on the live stream, but it's just taking time to come through. It might be a bit there. I'm just trying to get something else. Oh. Robert has to okay my contact request in order for me to add him to the group here, apparently. Okay, so where are we at here? We're on.
Should be the next one, which should be number, no, 10.
We got 8, 9 up.
I think it should be 8 was the one which one we just had? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, 8 was the one we just had. I'll put 9
All
up.
right, that's one 9. That's when I went like 9 circles up. I'm just filling out the structure of this. All right, see, that's what I think we look like. I think everything looks like that. That's what Saturn looks like. These fibers coming out like that. And you can't see it very well here, but you see the lotuses? Lotuses everywhere. That's the structure that's actually being built up from these concentric circles. So I'm just drawing, adding circles. I've only gone up 9 circles on each side. I've only gone like to about 10 o'clock on each side and 2 o'clock on the other side. Follow? See how the structure is getting built up? Now, if you go to the next picture, I went up farther. I went up like to about 11 or 12, and then the next one after that, you start to see how the structure is getting built up.
Okay, there's picture 10. I'm not sure which this one is. Okay, it's 10. And there's 11. I gotta figure out about adding this person to the group here.
Oh, I think I sent you the same one twice. Oh, crap. Oh, no, maybe not. You have up to 10, right, Rick?
11 is being shown now.
Picture 11. Can you go back to 10?
Okay, 10 is being shown now.
Okay. Let's see. Well, then that would be, you see the structure that's happening? See the lotuses? Imagine this is a schematic view. The whole thing gets folded up into one. That's one chamber. We're looking at 4 views of one chamber. You see you've got 2 lotuses horizontally and vertically, and then you've got larger lotuses, 45-degree angles to those, and the big ones that are going up around that, those are another lotus above that. And it's keep going, and that would be the end of this. And the whole thing would fold back around itself where the nucleus loops around. Remember how we were saying it's a exploded view with 4 quadrants. You see the inside when you look vertically, and you see the outside in when you look horizontally. And it gives you the membrane structure of the cells. You can see the cells inside and see all these veins and arteries coming out. Right? You already have 11, right? So maybe you get number 11 up.
Okay, 11's up now.
Okay. So now that, I went back to the original fractal. This is just the single navigator's wheel. It's the figure 8. The figure 8's not part of the structure. It's just what you use to draw the circles. And I went all the way up to the top and all the way down to the bottom. Look at the structure. Isn't that beautiful? This can't be a coincidence. See what I'm saying about how the circles disappear? The circle is just a trick that you use to make this other picture within a picture. See what's happening? This plotting of concentric circles around the navigator's wheel, creating this structural picture within a picture. That's thousands of years old understanding. Nicholas has figured this out. He's got more information on it than I do, but he's not plotting it around. He's not using the fractal. He sees the plasma, but he's not using the fractal. He's going up a straight line up the axis. That gives you concentric circles. But when I just did the simple thing of plotting it around the circle, I got this structure. See what I mean? This can't be a coincidence. You get you see the icons of every religion is in there. See, this is the neutron. And remember, every one of these structures, see all those red fibers, that's a single pair going around, looping up, doubling up, going around, looping up, doubling up, going around, looping up. That's a single pair of fibers. The whole structure, just two fibers doing a double helix, looping around, looping around, looping around, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The whole thing loops around, gets smaller and smaller and smaller, starts again. Follow? That's the structure of the universe right there. That's what that is. That's the membrane structure. That's what you need to navigate. You need to know which ways. I don't know, but Dr. Elliott, if you look at the four chambers of the heart, you have the axis where the arteries go in, the veins go out. That's the structure. That's the structure of a body. That's the structure of an atom. That's the structure of the earth. That's the structure of our solar system, galaxy, the entire universe. And here's another thing. Every time one of those wires, one of those red lines, loops around from the nucleus back around, that's its own infinity loop inside it. So every one of these fibers is an infinity loop inside the infinity loop. See what I'm saying? Now, I don't know. What does it look like to you guys? Does that not look like a lotus? You see the membrane structure? Now, this is just the one, the figure eight. Now imagine, and the thing is, when I drew the circle the other way and I added another petal, so to speak, right? It didn't act like two flowers. It acted like one flower doubling up its membranes and stuff. You know, it acts like one. The two become one. But this is just a single petal. It's opened up. It's a schematic view of the plasma flow. It's showing you horizontally the chambers, clear as day, inside. You see the structures of the chambers. You can see where the veins and arteries are. You know that the corkscrew actions are going to be going away from the nucleus when it's an artery and towards the nucleus when it's a vein. It gives you the structure in a 3D way in 4 quadrants. And when you look vertically, it shows you the structure of the shell, of the skin of each one. But even here, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that this is not complete. It's not total. And when I noticed that I went around, I only got to 1130 on the top and 1230. When I got in the center there, I got the skin. And it wasn't, I didn't even add it in. And I realized that though the top of that circle is the nucleus, the whole thing has been unrolled, right? So I started again from 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock and went around at the bottom, 6 o'clock. I went 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back around to the nucleus, and I went 7, 8, 9, 10, and I did the same thing at the top. I added another set of circles, concentric circles around from the top down. And that's the picture I'm going to send you right now. I think this is the total membrane structure of the universe. Coming up in the next one, you should be just getting an email now, Rick. See, what I'm saying about how Nicholas is getting those concentric circles, he got what I showed you at the beginning, the actual structure of the universe laid out straight. Or the way the nature of the universe is, how it goes from smaller to bigger by just doubling, how it gets back by just going, undoing it the other way until you get back down to the single pair of fibers. That's how it's not an infinity loop. It's a finite number of cells, but it loops around itself over and over again and creates this circuit of flow around. Now, the picture you should have just gotten, Rick, is the, I think, the way the structure of the universe works, what it looks like. Now, I could get into an hour on every part of this, from the infinity loops, these concentric circles. The second part, this next one I want to show you is the tones that Nicholas was talking about, and how it affects what I learned about from the Greeks in studying the history of music, their tone system. Very interesting. But let me know when that last, well, there's the picture 12 comes up. A computer could do this in seconds because it's just concentric circles. And it could do it with the Fibonacci sequence, doubling those. And then you could zoom it in. You know, it'd be really, really easy for video guys to get an accurate version of that. And if you got the structure of the heart correct from, say, Dr. Elia or something, you could show the rotating corkscrew actions of the blue and red veins and arteries. You can actually see the whole structure of the universe. Let me know when that picture 12 is up.
Hi guys, can you hear me? This is Robert. Hello? Let me check
From Robert here. The picture 12's been up for about 5 minutes here, Mary.
Oh, okay. All right. That's it. That's the structure.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's hear from Robert for a second here. He's been trying to get on the Skype call for the last half hour.
Sure.
Yeah, let me check my microphone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little bit subdued, but yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Finally. Thanks, thanks to Sandor for helping out there.
Okay.
What I've seen so far, I kind of follow, but in some areas I don't. And it seems to me a little bit overcomplicated to get the structure. What I've studied Buckminster Fuller and his way of showing closest packing of spheres and how that creates geometries. So maybe I'm thinking maybe in the future I can set up a presentation showing the structure that way, which I think is simpler, but I will continue following what's going on here and see if I can understand more of it. Is there a way to share my screen during these? Okay. No, I'm thinking in the future. So there is that capability. Okay, because I have some 3D models, actual physical forms. It's made out of those magnetic ended sticks and metal balls that you can put together. So I can show that, or I can also make 3D SolidWorks models too. But so I'll start working on that presentation and put something together. When it's ready, I'll let you know. Okay. And nice meeting you, all of you guys. How I ended up here? Well, first of all, I'm originally from Armenia, where Armen is from. I haven't, I phoned him. He was asleep. Woke him up at 12 o'clock midnight one time, so we didn't get to talk much, but we agreed that when he's back in California, we'll get together and start working on things at this end. But I'm a mechanical engineer. Worked in the industry now for 25 years, maybe. I'm about 50 years old. Chronologically, physically, maybe 40. I kind of take care of myself to stay healthy and fit. Me and my brother, he's about a year and a half younger than me, we've been following free energy developments and working on projects of our own, following Tesla's work. Me and my brother, he's about a year and a half younger than me, we've been following free energy developments and
oops, we have a echo.
That was me. I just shut off. I'm looking at the live stream now, so I can.
Okay, then maybe you can mute then temporarily.
Yeah, I just did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've read Buckminster Fuller's Energetics book a few times, trying to understand his approach to things, and I've been following Eric Dollard's work. Constantine Mail. There's another guy. I forget his name. Been reading his stuff. So far, to me, Buckminster Fuller's explanation about space-time structure has sort of resonated with me. I guess his thing is everything, according to him, is everything just relationships between things, and that's what's the real part of it. And due to those relationships, you get different structures, different interactions. So that's kind of how I look at things. I look for the core relationships between things and kind of build on that. So, I got my kind of a theory of what the neutron is, how the proton, electron come out of it. So, I was thinking of putting a presentation paper together, but being so busy with everything else that gets delayed and delayed. So maybe probably the best thing would be just to get some drawings, some models together, and just do a visual audio presentation and get it out of me and kind of put it out there for people to critique and find something useful in it. Found about Keshe's foundation and about all of you guys in maybe, I would say 2-3 weeks ago, maybe very recently, through a link somewhere about another subject. So I kind of followed the link and got into the website, read a little bit about what's going on, and decided to become more, become a member and contribute, learn. So I'm looking forward to learning how to build the reactors, testing them, and see how that fits my model of the universe and atom and everything.
Interesting. That's great. That's my basic training was in mechanical engineering as well, although I only went through 2 years before I got disillusioned in the whole scenario there, and went my own path and self learning and so on. Eventually hooking up with the Keshe teaching, well, many years ago now, probably six or so years ago. Yeah, interesting journey. So,
Yeah.
as a mechanical engineer, you will naturally have all kinds of ideas on how to make things rotate and stuff like that. So, it'll be interesting to see some of your input if you carry on with this particular line of teaching.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead. I was gonna say I know SolidWorks. I can model stuff in SolidWorks. I have a 3D printer at home, so I'll be able to build stuff. But I need the know-how on how the reactor works, how to put it together, how to sort of measure things, feel it. I know there's emotional things involved. So I'm hoping that when I can connect with Armen here.
I am here. Who is it?
Oh, hi, Armen.
Armen popping in
Armen
from
is
the
here.
ethers. You never know who's listening in on these Skype calls. It could be anyone in the universe.
Yeah,
Some of them may not be human even. Speaking of which, Armen, how you doing?
I'll greet Armen in Armenian.
Yeah, he's a fellow countryman here, Armen. Go ahead.
Any Armenians around? Oh my God. That's good to hear Armenians around.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised and pleasantly surprised when I saw your name, in the foundation, and I called you that one time at midnight. I woke you up. That was me. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. I was just slipped and you just called. It's okay. You have my email. You can email me or you can
actually
send me
I don't have your email.
Okay, I'll send it. If you send a friend request on Skype, I will pass that information to you.
Yeah, I don't have your Skype contact either. So maybe
you should be able to get that in the group here, I think. If you click on his name in the call.
Yeah, I only see 8 people. Oh, okay, there it is. Arman.
That's my email. And that's my telephone number, actually 818 adding.
Yeah, I think I got your number. Okay, great, great. Thanks, Arman.
You're welcome.
I'll send you an email right now.
How are you guys? How are you, Rick?
Doing good. Yes, Guy is here with me now as well.
Hello, Armin.
Hey. You?
Pleasure.
You got home safe?
Oh yeah. Happy and happy to be back home too, and be able to sleep well.
Is your boat in place? Nobody burned it, huh?
And it hasn't sunk. It was still there. Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm coming there. So
I made a nice cleanup, so just in case you show up too fast.
Yeah.
I better get my house cleaned up too. Get the lab cleaned up. I mean the living room. Living room lab. It's a living lab.
Rick, one more thing. I don't have an access for daily teachings. Is there any way that, guys, you can send me? Where can I have the access?
Did you apply as a student yet?
I think yes.
I think Sandor, that's
Armin,
more.
He did already take care of my acceptance letter, so.
Did you want me to send you the link personally into Skype so you can join it?
Please.
Okay.
It's a Skype, or we can go back and it's a recording that we can hear it again.
No recording yet.
Pardon me, what was that, Vince? No recording yet, right?
But there's no recordings viewable yet. That's what I'm working on right now, and been working on for a while. So yes, they're being recorded in a couple of different ways, and I'll send you the link for the teachings tomorrow.
Please.
I'll do that right now so you have them.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Arman, here is the nasty one.
Oh, happy birthday, Ludmila. I called you. Pick it up.
Thanks.
How are you?
Quick question for you. Is Elia still in Italy, in Bulgaria?
What is it?
I need to talk to her, but... okay. If you see her, just let her know that I'm looking for her to call me back.
No problem. I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I got it. But I already registered.
I think you have to re-notarize it each time.
Yeah, they're different for each course. Each course is a different number so that people can't go back and just join for free. So it's set that way.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there's one more picture I have, the last one, where about the tones, about the different sizes of this concentric rings. But this picture that's up on the live stream right now, I did not draw this picture. I simply drew concentric circles around and around and around and connected the circles. This structure came up by itself. You follow?
But there is no picture. You know,
what do you mean?
In
the live stream, I don't know. I'm looking at this picture.
Okay.
Can you see the picture?
Let me go right line.
I did what Nicholas is doing, only I did it not straight up an axis. I went around the figure 8. And I did it on the around the top one, and then the top circle and the bottom circle. And this emerged. You know, I don't see a single circle there, really. I mean, you see crescent moons, you see lotus flowers, you see spiraling blood vessels. There's a direction of the flow of everything that's based on the bloodstream. That's what it looks like to me. Is structure just appears out of these concentric circles. You follow? And those the big ones that are going off the page, that's another lotus flower. That's the whole structure. The whole thing collapses in as a single entity. The 4 quadrants get folded in, and then the whole thing gets looped around in that navigator wheel. And the whole structure looks like this from the outside, looks like this from the inside, looks like this from the outside. It's always the same fractal. This is the neutron. All I did was draw out the double helix all the way around. I didn't do anything else. This structure cannot be a coincidence. Can't be a coincidence that you get this lotus-shaped thing. It's lotus inside of a lotus, inside of a lotus, inside of a lotus, inside of a lotus, with a central axis. The top part, remember the second one where you split in half, but laid out. It's a circle where they come together in an infinity loop. You open it up at the nucleus, and you lay it out where the nucleus is on the top, nucleus in the bottom, nucleus is in the middle. That's it. That's that second page, that structure I drew. See it with the circle inside the circle, inside the circle, inside the circle. And this is all one thread of a double helix. It's one thread wrapping around, wiring around, wiring around, wrapping around, creating this structure. And it comes from concentric circles, which are not even really in there. The actual figure 8, you can kind of see it. It's got nothing to do with the structure at all. Thus, you don't need them. You need them to plot the circles, so I can draw the circles. See, this drawing of concentric circles, creating this picture out of concentric circles, that has nothing to do with concentric circles. These lotus leaves aren't really circles at all. You follow? It's a picture within the picture. It's sort of like you do a jigsaw puzzle of a picture, but then as another picture emerges inside it. I don't know. I think that's can't be a coincidence. It's the fractal. I took the neutron and drew concentric circles around and around and around and around and around and got this. Mr. Keshe has been saying the galaxy is your human body and the universe is your body. You want to learn about the universe, look in your body. That's the blood circulation system of your body. That's how it works. That's what it looks like. There's 4 chambers of the heart, in and out. I mean, it looks like a blood circulation system. It is a blood circulation system. And it's drawn out with concentric circles. And it's thousands of years old. That is in history what they call the navigator's wheel. But I drew it out. See, and if you had an animator who just took one loop and just drew the circles and you just do it around, and this is only one leaf. Imagine that's Venus, or that's the Earth right in the center. And now add a bazillion more leaves. They all come into a structure that's a tree. That's the flower of life. That's what we're looking at. See the flower? See the flower in it. I mean, I don't know. Do you see the 4 petals of the flower?
This is computer animation?
Sorry?
This is computer animation?
No, I drew this.
You drew?
I took a figure 8 and I plotted concentric circles around like a clock. 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters around. I think I got nine circles. There's 18 circles because I went half centimeters. You get to 9, just like Nicholas said. You have an octave, and you get to 9. That's the skin. That would be at the top, and then 10 starts another octave. That's the next picture. Right? the tones. But this structure is the fractal. That's why Mr. Keshe is saying this is that neutron, that spiraling coil is the fractal. It opens up when it spins, that gets that spark of life. It literally just opens up like a flower. And I believe that there's the neutron, the proton and the electron already inside the neutron. They're like in hibernation. See, this is what I did. I just drew concentric circles. You see, plotted it around the circle. I went all the way around, and then I did a figure 8, another one below it, went all the way around and got that structure. Doesn't look like it here. But this looks like the flower of life that Nicholas is drawing. But this is what it looks like when it's realized. See, when you take this, you see Nicholas has got one of these, and he's got one on the other side, and he's got 4 of those. And then he's plotted this, he's got it as a single circle. A single circle on the other side, 45-degree angles on each side. And then he's got the concentric circles plotted up the middle. No, you plot concentric circles around the loop. There's no straight lines in the fractal. It's a circle and it's a coil. So using the straight line is not in the fractal. Follow? And what you see what's happening, you're not seeing the actual structure of the lotus. You are seeing what I showed, how you have it doubled up. You have 1 is 2 and 4 and 8 and 16. Yes, that's what you get when you have straight. That was the second picture I showed. It's this. But it's really the one inside doubled up into a figure 8, creating, it's a neutron. It divided, it became a proton, electron, created a Coulomb barrier. And now you have 2. And it does the same thing. It makes 4 in the next circle. This is the same as me. He's going up. He's not even using the expansion here in this. This doesn't even have the expansion. It should be 2, 4, 8, 16. And those shouldn't be spiraling. They should be rotating in place. It should be a double helix with like the navigator wheel. You see the structure of it? It's a corkscrew. It should be rotating in place. Those are cells. Those are cells that are there. It's the bloodstream and the cellular nature of your body is that. What do you have? You have individual cells with bloodstream around them. The bloodstream creates the plasma shield that's the membrane of your body. The veins are literally what all of our heavy side, what I was saying before. When I look at an insulated wire, I see a static plasma field around the wire, a centimeter or so around, and a dynamic field flowing through it. That is a bloodstream. It is literally the same thing. It's a fractal. Everything's the same thing. Electricity is flowing around the wire, and it's being constricted by the static field around it. That's your blood vessel. The blood vessel is a static plasma reactor that's a membrane. It's a force field. And water of life is the blood, is the electricity. It's flowing through your bloodstream. This is the navigator's wheel. All I did was draw concentric circles, little by little, going around. This is the solar system. See the same thing. It's all the same thing. See the navigator's wheel there? There should be another one down at the bottom. It's a double helix. It gives you the polarity. It gives you absolutely every single thing in the universe. Is there a blood circulation? If it's the Fibonacci sequence on that navigator wheel, but you don't need it as a navigator. As a navigator, you need to know what it looks like when it's realized. See, that last picture and this first picture is this picture. If you know that other picture, then you know this. Well, you need to know need to go back to the health workshop and look at the blood circulation and find out which direction everything's going. But once it does that, it's a fractal. Our solar system will do the same thing as the galaxy. The galaxy does the same thing as the universe. When you saw the structure, it's exactly the same thing. See it? And I drew it out as a Fibonacci sequence, and I could only I call it Saturn. Doesn't matter. The 5th planet, that's the 5th marble out, is inside. Pluto is larger than Jupiter. because it's a marble inside a marble inside a marble. When you navigate the universe, you go up and down. You go out our atmosphere, out our skin of the Earth. You have to go out the skins of the moon and Mars and the asteroid belt, and you count those membranes along the navigator's wheel. If you have 100 circles on the top, 100 circles on the bottom, you can get 200 Coulomb barriers to get out of our solar system. It might be more. You might need a bigger wheel. When you get out of our solar system, you get a new leaf. You count up. You just mark a place. Start on Earth. Count Coulomb barriers away. You measure where, like, go back to the navigator's wheel. You start anywhere. You just mark it. You find out where the nucleus is. Nucleus is in. It's in, not left or right. It's in. It's the marble's in, but it's the main structural artery. You can tell by magnetic field detection, tell where it is. And you have an up and down axis. So now you can line yourself up with that. And which quadrant are you in with the Earth? And you go up. If you want to go up, you just mark it at 9 o'clock and then start going up out of the atmosphere, out of the solar system, counting Coulomb barriers, 32 Coulomb barriers. Mark it. Go to the next leaf. Open it up. That's the Milky Way. And I believe that they go in eighths, in octaves. So if you're going to go long distances, you have eighths. So you can have 1,600 Coulomb barriers you can count going to a system 1,600 away just by using the navigator's wheel. You go 700 solar systems away. You mark it. You count them. You mark it. Starts here, goes around. You can go around the double 8 thing till you get back to where you are. And if you get back to where you are, you need more Coulomb barriers. You have to get a bigger wheel. But you just mark it. Now you want to go into that galaxy. You have to get a new leaf. You follow? And you go into that galaxy. You count. You're going in towards the nucleus. You count in how far you go, how many solar systems you want to go in there. You get a new leaf. You count into the solar system, how many planets, 6 Coulomb barriers in. And when you come back, you navigate your way back out. But you need to know this structure in order to not slam into the mag fields or get caught up in a gravity well. You need to know which directions there are. There may be ways of navigating where you use those. You use an artery to get caught on the corkscrew, and I don't know. I don't have any experience as a navigator, but that's the way the wheel works. That's a probably 3,000, 5,000-year-old thing, the navigator's wheel, that double helix, but it creates a double vein artery system. The gradient, when those fibers, because it gets bigger, you have to have more fibers when on the bigger, when it doubles up. So it causes a gradient where it pulls up, needing more and more and more and more and more. And when it comes back around the other side, it needs less and less and less and less and less. And it's a self-regulating. This is exactly what Dr. Elliott was talking about, how the lungs work, how your heart works, how your circulatory system works. It goes from the tiny capillaries, gets bigger and bigger and bigger until you get to the big arteries going to the vein. It's that expansion of the double helix, in effect, that branching in and branching in and branching in, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, that causes the gradient, that causes your circulation system to work. This is it. This is the structure of the membrane of your body. It can't be a coincidence. This, Mr. Keshe is saying, this is the fractal of the universe. I analyzed the fractal and got this. This is what's in there. It's in the fractal. I didn't do anything but draw concentric circles. And this is the structure that comes out. It's got nothing to do with concentric circles. It's a picture within a picture. It's a trick that somebody came up with to use a way to navigate, and it comes with its own manual. All you need is a compass, and you can navigate the universe and tell the exact structure of anything. That's what I believe it is. I don't see how it cannot be. It's either the fractal of the universe, like Mr. Keshe says, or it's not. And that's what I'm saying. Nicholas, he knows all this stuff. He knows this stuff about the tones better than I do. I got a lot of questions for him. I'm not sure how I should start the nucleus. I think he's doing it a different way. And he's got all these answers, but he's not following the fractal. He's got the concentric circles straight up. That's not in the fractal. You don't have any straight lines. You've got the navigator wheel. And that's all I did.
Mario.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man, but I want to ask, look, when we speak about universe and stuff, we usually speak about things from observation and data. And it's really nice that you draw this stuff, but I do not see how we can make any deduction about this point and stuff. We should have data and then analyze the data and then see how things are.
Did. Well, you didn't catch it. I did. I analyzed the fibers and showed that there's only one way they will mate is a double helix, and it will automatically expand. There's no other thing that these fibers can do. If they're spongy and they're coiling and they mate, then you will get this double helix. And Mr. Keshe already said that loop around on themselves. That's the navigator wheel. It's the very first picture. The two fibers mate and then loop around. And they get bigger at the top and smaller at the bottom. And they loop around. But they cross and create a blood vessel system. It's in the fibers. You can see. It's obvious that's what's going on. That's the chambers of the heart. It can't be a fractal of the universe and your heart is completely different. You got 4 chambers of the heart, you got 4 directions of the way these vessels come in.
So Mario, what is your idea about using this knowledge?
Sorry?
So what is your idea about using all this stuff that you are speaking about? What we can make with this?
I got that this structure is what you look like. This is the plasma that we don't see. You have a membrane hard shell that's a subset of connected fibers within this flower. And that's either your thalamus at the nucleus, or it's the free plasma created by your star formation of your brain and heart and lungs, which I tend to think it is. And that's your nucleus. And when we start detecting plasmas, you're going to see that's what you actually look like. And the subset of your skin is just a subset inside that. This lotus is Buddha sitting in the center. That's you. This is God. This is God, the creator. We've been looking for God as a leader, somebody who's going to come. We've got pictures of God. The actual term God in the Bible is the Hebrew Elohim. That's a suffix and a prefix for a family name. It's the Joneses. In the beginning, the Joneses created the heavens, plural, and the earth, right? But there's no description of what the gods look like. It looks like the fractal. If Mr. Keshe is right, it's the fractal. But when you look at it as a spongy ball of fibers, it looks like what God really would look like. The humble servant. Really, the humble servant, not the leader, not the judge. This is the fractal. But look at what it looks like when it opens up. See, this is what it looks like when it's just sitting still as a neutron. When it starts rotating and it opens up, it divides into an Adam and Eve, the proton and the electron, and you get this. You get this structure. This is in the fractal. I didn't do this. I didn't draw this. I didn't even know. I knew there were these fibers. I know this, but I had no idea that the structure was like this until I saw Nicholas. And I saw what he was doing wrong. He's not following the fractal. That's all. He knows more about this than I do. But he's just didn't plot it around the navigator wheel. He's not applying his knowledge of the flower of life. That's what he knows. He knows this, but he's not applying it to the fractal. He's talking about plasma, which is what that is, but he's not applying it to the fractal. Mr. Keshe said that's the fractal of the universe. That's why I said before, I believe this fractal is the greatest discovery in the history of humanity, or rediscovery. This was lost. This thousands of years old navigator wheel. This is what the Greeks called it, a navigator wheel. They knew about this stuff. And you draw it out and you get this structure. I didn't invent this. I didn't do anything. In fact, I didn't know how to draw it out until I saw Nicholas. Nicholas knows how to draw. He knows about the flower of life, but he's not applying the fractal. If you apply the fractal, you get this structure. This is the correct way to do that fractal, because there's no other way. There's no straight lines. Where do I draw? Where do I artificially add an axis in the middle? It's not there. It's not there. You have the veins and arteries coming in through the branches, yeah, but those are part of this structure. You follow? This is God. This is the greatest discovery in the history of humanity. And you may think I'm exaggerating.
I believe you're going to be Mario, I think you're going to be really fascinating if you walk in a movie called A Secret Geometry, where they speak about the shape of circle, where it's everywhere. So,
Rick, can you go back to the second picture? Go back to the second.
Yes, but we're going to have to end things fairly soon here. I'm going to have to start the morning workshop at the Spaceship Institute soon.
Okay, the morning workshop.
Yes, it's almost time to begin the Spaceship Institute teachings morning workshop. So I have to start now and go for the work through the night till 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning here. So I got a big night ahead of me, and we're just about done the workshop now. Okay. So sum up whatever you want to say in the next 5 minutes, because that's all we have left.
Well, I think that this fractal is what the Bible talks about as God. And it opens up to the flower of life, and that's what it looks like. And that's everything. That's every atom. That's every person. That's every solar system. That's every galaxy. It's every universe. Same thing, fractal. That's it.
Right. Well, there you go. It's all wrapped up in one image. But unfortunately, everybody has to see that for themselves, and that's the trick about it. Because we just talked for 2 or 3 hours on a simple image, and yet each of us has to come to our own realization about that at any particular time. It's a very tricky thing to do.
That's sure.
But I appreciate that, and that's a good piece of data or knowledge to take away from this is the idea that you brought in of the fractal expansion that occurs rather than straight line expansion. That could be incorporated into the videos or animations. I think that might be important. That's right.
Well, it'd be nice to see what this fractal looks like with the Fibonacci, with the expansions in it. Because these pictures are 1, 2, 3, 4, not 1, 2, 4, 8. But it's the same structure.
It's similar, yes. There's similar flower of life type structures. There's just different geometries that can be implied from it, different resonances.
It's doubled up, 2, 4, 8, 16. That's fractal geometry, yeah. And there's I got a whole half hour, easily an hour I could do on the tones Nicholas had. There are 7 different versions of these, I believe. And you can use the sounds to pinpoint your exact location inside. That's the other picture. But, I mean, I could do a lot more on all of this. But every single thing I'm saying, I can go into why it must be this. It can't not be this. It's, I didn't have time because it takes a long time to go into it because it's a lot. But every single thing in this fractal is the universe. It's there. And if you really start looking at it, I got 1,000 hours of studying this fractal. There's lots of research on this, from Eric Dollard to Keshe, Oliver Heaviside's book, Rudolf Steiner. This is all about this fractal, only I didn't know it until Mr. Keshe. So anyway, all right, that's all I can do is show you that. Anyway.
Thank you very much, Mario. Appreciate your input here. And that's taken up most of the workshop, so we won't be able to hear from anyone else right now. But
yeah, sorry
thank
about
you,
that.
everybody, and stay tuned for more of the same around this time next week. And also, if anybody wants to present something in the Knowledge Seekers workshop tomorrow, then let me know and we can arrange it to have a little hands-on demo for Keshe, let's say.
Well, if you don't mind, Rick, I wouldn't mind maybe I try to do a condensed version of this for the workshop.
We could, although we could. I could possibly work that in. We've already, well, we heard from you before, but this is a different topic and expression of it, and it'd be interesting to see how Keshe looks at it. It'd be good to discuss this in the Keshe animation team group as well, which is who's working on the animations and demonstrations of this. So. Are you part of that group or no?
No, no, I don't know. Maybe you send me a link to it or something.
Okay, I'll just put you in the group.
Would that be on the Skype?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay, I just added you to the Keshe animation team group, which just showed my entire list, unfortunately. Okay.
It doesn't have to be tomorrow's. The workshop, the regular workshop's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't have. I mean, if you have time tomorrow, fine. If not, then next week or something. But I would like to bounce this off Mr. Keshe, because I do think this is what he's been getting at. So I would like to see if I'm wrong. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's all part of the basic theory, I guess.
Yeah. The fractal of the universe.
Yeah, it's a good name. Okay, I'm going to end the this group now so that I can get set up for the main teaching workshops for the students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Okay, it's good. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.